And here we have it. The first game streamed on the OESL first round of playoffs. We have the Chinese equivalent of Pro Draft just about ready to be set up. We're just waiting for our players to get in position. And here we have it. Let's go right ahead. I'm Caster Rav Exel. Here you go. If you haven't seen me, I was doing the cast in Season 4. Now we're here on Season 6. Playoffs coming right around. And let's get into these picks and bans. All right. Master Yi first taken out by Markham. These players have had time to scout each other. They've seen each other play. They've played an entire season. This is the number 5 and the number 6 team going ahead and playing. Winner is going to move on, and the loser, well, Season 7 is going to be starting registration pretty soon, or is on the way right now. But that's definitely happening, and you definitely can sign up for that. Some of these power picks coming up. Senna, arguably one of the most powerful champs in the game. She's getting paired up a lot with Maokai in the bot lane. Markham doesn't want to see any of that noise. Stratford goes and does the Vayne and Cassiopeia. Looks like target bans. Definitely with the Vayne. Definitely targeting that 80 carry. Cassiopeia can be flexed. Can be going the bot lane, mid, top. Really, she's very versatile and at a good place right now. Not S+ tier or anything like that, but definitely enough to be warranting a ban, and it can be flexed to 3 roles. So how many champions can do that, right? And here we have it. The first pick for the Markham Narwhals. Going to be their jungler, Kane. Having received some buffs recently to both forms. Very, very good first pick. Strong. Can move around the map. Wards don't really mean anything to him. Scales really well into late game with all that lifesteal that's built in naturally into his kick. Between him and Echo are probably the 2 junglers I hate to see the most in solo queues. So Markham picking him up first. They're not worried about any sort of counter or anything. Stratford going for power. They're going for damage. Lucian, Zyra, they're looking to pick up kills. Zyra's going to be looking to get CC from range. She's going to be looking to get damage with her plants, and then Lucian's going to be following it up. A lot of power in this bot lane. Could even turn a gank with the right spell combinations. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of different strategy already. We're having a power kill lane bottom for Stratford, and then Markham is countering that with a utility, farm it up, let's get to mid game. We're not looking for kills in the bot lane. We're going to play safe, weak side bottom, and we're going to get out of this lane without dying too much. So you already see the differences between these 2 teams and their strategies. And both of them are picking in a similar fashion. Olaf going to have a lot of priority early. So he is going to have a damage advantage onto Kane. And could look to be invading. Could look to be fighting for those scuttle crabs. But both teams choosing their bot lane and their jungler. They don't want to show their solo lanes as of yet. They don't have a power pick that is worth showing it to the other team in order to get countered. Right away, looking at how these teams are shaping up, you're seeing the scaling has to be on Markham's side, whereas Stratford is looking to get that lead early. We're going to see how these rest of the bans go, but already you can see how their teams are shaping up this early in the draft. Stratford banning out the Yasuo, Markham following with the Jace. Syndra, another pick that can be flexed. We can see that bot lane's already been picked, but she is strong enough to be sent into top lane. And then following up is the Malphite, so really targeting the top laner here. So in all likelihood, Stratford is going to pick their mid laner, And they're going to wait for that ever-precious top counter pick, but could see that mixed up. We could see also a flex, where we don't know where this pick is going to go. Let's take a peek. If they really want to keep the teams guessing. Okay, well this is going to be fairly standard then. Maokai, one of the strongest top laners, one of the strongest champions in the game as of yet, did just receive a small nerf. We are playing on 10.10. This is the last game, the last day for 10.10, and we do have Maokai that has dropped down about a 1% win rate, still hovering around the 52-53% win rate, but really it's extremely hard to counter, and that's why they feel really safe in picking him in top lane. Unless you're gonna try to pick, like, you know, some sort of Trundle top or you know, like a Darius or something like that to really try to put some pressure. There's not a lot of picks that go poorly into Maokai. And frankly, this is a matchup that I've seen fairly frequently. I was going to assume the Mordekaiser is top. Yeah, absolutely. So the Mordekaiser versus Maokai is one that gets played fairly consistently. Maokai tends to prioritize the Spirit Visage and to try to hold out into the lane, try to keep farm, to try to impact the mid game, whereas Mordekaiser has more of that kill threat. He's going more for his AP items, and then, you know, Maokai building Spirit Visage is just, you know, it really, really works. And then you have all that healing, and then you get all that bonus healing from the Spirit Visage. It's hard to get kills with that Maokai, but it's hard to die if you're not over aggressive. And there we have it. Oh, very, very interesting with the Nocturne pick. This is a pick that we don't see a hell of a lot of in the lower elos, but he's definitely played quite a bit in high-level solo queue. He's ranked extremely well as well. His win rate, very, very strong. And there we have it. With Vigar being picked there in the mid lane, these teams both have incredibly different win conditions here. They both have different lanes that they can play around, and when you're jungling, especially at the plat level and above, you really got to know which lanes to put pressure on and which to leave kind of on their own devices. It's called weak side, strong side. A lot of you guys know about this. They talk about it a lot in the casting desk on the LCS, but it's very, very important. I myself am a jungler. It's something I think about all the time. And you really should be planning out your ganks 30 seconds to 45 seconds ahead of time before you're going in. Normally, you give yourself a couple of options. I can gank this lane, or farm. You normally have 3 options, and all the time in your brain, you're cycling through those options. Okay, let's see the risk. Let's see the reward. Okay, is it worth it? What's my team doing? How are my lanes? Very, very helpful tip when you're a jungler is cycling through the F1, F2, F3, F4 keys. So anytime that you're doing a camp and you're just autoing it, anytime you're back at base, anytime that you're not using a spell or ability or, you know, moving towards an enemy, cycle through your team, and you're able to easily see the lanes and how they are in relation, and so how you can gank. So we're gonna have to see if this, I'm assuming the Olaf here is that's going to be jungling. When you're going through these lanes here, I already said there's a very, very obvious bot side strength advantage. But let's go through some of the other lanes. And excuse us, we just had someone dodge out. So we have a client crash, so that should just get fixed in just a few moments. And we could talk a little bit more about these matchups. But, alright, so we already started with the bot lane. Clear advantage there. Moving on up to the east side, to the big house in the sky. Junglers. I'm assuming the Olaf is going to be the jungler here. It could, very, very unlikely though, but it could be the Nocturne. I would highly doubt that. You don't generally you don't see the Nocturne in the top lane unless it's a direct counter pick, and you know you're going to smash that lane really hard because you have to win it, really, really strongly, because you're not going to be in a position to carry on to the mid and late game unless you have that lead. So when you're, if you are going to pick the Olaf top, you better make sure smash it out. Moving on to the presumptive junglers here. When you have Kayn and Olaf, I play a lot of Olaf, so it is definitely early game favorite. Olaf is favored almost against everyone early. Everyone knows that. You're generally not fighting for scuttles when you're equal health and you're going for it. If both junglers are both full health, you normally let Olaf just take that, unless your lanes are going ahead and helping you out with that. So a little bit of an early advantage for Olaf, but Kayn does really, really well around that, I'll say around the 25-minute mark or so. Like once you start to get to that second item, you start to see Kayn pull away from Olaf. So we have an advantage early for one, and we're having... having a little bit of issue here getting everyone there, but they'll figure it out. Now over to the mid lane. What we just saw, the last picks, what we assume is the mid lane. We're having Veigar against Nocturne. There you have it. It's a matchup I haven't done a whole lot myself because I don't play the Nocturne mid, and I don't see it in a hell of a lot of my games. But you have two very, very distinct playstyles here when you have the hyper-scaling Burst Mage in Veigar versus the incredible near global ult of like partial global of Nocturne, who's looking to affect the side lanes, who's looking to go into the jungle to affect those early game skirmishes to try to get a 2-on-1, 2-on-3, that sort of thing, with his team having the advantage. So how you're most likely going to see this out is you're going to see Nocturne try to push this wave in, and he's going to try to roam wherever he can get the most value. He's either going to get some deep vision, or he's going to go into his jungle or into a lane. So we're going to have to see, can he get kills when he does this? Is Veigar going to get killed early with Nocturne having a little bit more kill pressure if he can get into melee range? It really depends on how well this Veigar plays. If the Veigar can keep the lane in the middle of the lane and doesn't die, you really favor him going into the late game as he starts to get that second and third item. Once he gets that death cap and around 800-900 AP, you know, there's 3 juicy targets on that team that he can look to burst out. Swinging over to the top lane, as was mentioned earlier, you see this matchup quite a bit. I see this matchup a lot. I personally favor the Maokai, again, because Spirit Visage is such a good item for Maokai, and you can build it first. And if you do that, really, Mordekaiser doesn't really have that much kill pressure to you. So, and you have surprising damage with Maokai. Yes, his Q was just nerfed, but he's still either an A or an S mid laner, top laner, depending on about how you rank him. So all in all, you have a more early mid game team in Stratford, and then you have a more late game scaling team playing a little bit more safe early on in the laning phase, but should look to scale well into the mid game, as well as being able to siege and be able to have those elongated team fights with the range that you get from Veigar and Ezreal. But then you also have the heals coming out from Soraka, right? And you also have all the utility that she has. So Stratford is on a little bit of a timer here. I do like when you see these 2 solid tanks on the Stratford team, you do see that they're going to have a little bit easier in those big 5v5 team fights. They have a very definitive front line, mid line, you know, chase in the back or flank, which would be the Nocturne's job. If they're playing standard front to back, you really like Stratford here. Markham, though, they have the tools. It's just, can they play within those tools? We're going to have to find out. So, we've already talked quite a bit about this matchup. Let's go talk a little bit about what's happening around in League and what's happening in OESL, Ontario Esports League. The league's already been going on for a number of weeks, and they're doing the new LCS and LEC format where it's a double elimination tournament. So you can lose and still be in the event. These two teams, though, as the number 5 and 6 seed, it's winner take all here. Whoever loses does go home because they finish towards the bottom of the playoff teams. It's winner go home, and I really love this format. It's very exciting. It reminds me of teams in the LCK, the Korean League of Legends scene, where they always they've kind of had a different system than the rest of the world. They had it so where the number 1 team, they only play the finals. That's right. It's not a standard 1-8, 2-7, 4-5, that type of scenario. No. It's, if you're the number 6 team, if you're the number 5 team, you've got to run the gauntlet. You've got to win generally 4 or 5 best of 5 series in order to win the league. And it's happened before. You've seen SKT do that. I believe they did it last season, where they finished in the bottom spot and were able to run out the entire team in the 2019 season. They got right to the end and then cleaned up. The thing is, they're playing a lot of games, but you're warmed up. And either one of these teams could do it. I'm really excited to see if the momentum that you get winning this best of 3, this confidence that you get, can carry them in to the match that's going to happen on Thursday, May 28th. And whoever wins here is going to be facing the lower seeded loser from the match number 1 and 2, which was just going on, and I believe is just starting to finish up right now. So whoever the lowest seeded loser from that series is going to be going down, and is going to be facing these teams, the winner of this team. So excited to see this. Everyone's going to be getting casted. That's what we're going to be doing, the elimination games. And, well, we have an LCK kind of format. But isn't this crazy? Just the life that we're living right now. We're all living in this kind of shared experience here. And I've got a minute before the game hops into the champion select screen here. So, we're all kind of in this together, and we're gonna be talking about this 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later. People are gonna be asking you, "Oh, do you remember that? Do you remember that pandemic? Do you remember that? 2020? Yeah. It's a nice even number too. It's be like, the 2020. Yeah, pandemic for sure." I tell you, I was actually in one of these real interesting shared experience. I was in Quebec during the 1998 ice storm. And I've had it throughout my entire life that people will reference that ice storm because it was so big. It affected the entire province. The military had to be called in. Most families were out of power for 1 or 2 weeks, some for a month or 2. It was that serious. I was in it. I remember cuddling in my basement in the wood stove with my family. We were all right. We had a wood stove that we could cook hot meals. Not everyone was so lucky. Nobody died or anything like that, like nothing serious, but everyone remembers that time, and you all are going to be part of this. What did you do? How did you think? How did you feel? I'm noticing people that want to get stressed out, people that are worried or anxious people, they're showing that right now. There's something that I've seen. What you're seeing is, people that are within close quarters with each other, that maybe they're not used to that. They're starting to get eat each other's nerves, or they're finding out, what? I can really be with this person in all matters of the situation. I'm seeing it. We're seeing the news stories. One other thing. So a lot of people I've found are reevaluating their lives during this quiet time. I know multiple people that kind of have had a real chance to sit and think about themselves, their future, what's going on in their life right now. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Where is your life going at this moment? This is something that I've seen, and it's something that's been really, really meaningful for people that are just go all the time, where you don't really have a chance to sit and reflect, and they're finding a chance to find out who they really are and what they want in life. And you don't always get to do that, and hey, might as well. We've got the time. I myself, I'm taking a course, I'm going jogging, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. But fine, here we go. Pandemic top over. Yes, that was 2 minutes of pandemic top. It's done. It's finished. We're ready to start this game. And here we are, OESL Season 6, first round playoffs. And we're seeing the Narwhals here on the red side and the Bonobos on the blue side. The Bonobos did have home field advantage as they did finish number 5. So they get to choose what side they want in games 1 and games 3, whereas the Markham Narwhals, they get to choose their side on that game 2. So we'll see if either of these teams are doing any kind of specialty strategy or any sort of invade, anything around these sides. If you know you're going to have the first and third side selection, you can work on a little bit of a special early game. And we're going to have to see if Marco and Goose and... Goose! There's a new Top Gun coming out. Everyone knows that. They actually delayed it because no one's going to the theater right now. It was supposed to already come out this summer. It's Tom Cruise is back. Goose is still dead, though. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first movie. By the way, funded by the United States Navy or Air Force. They put a lot of money into that movie it was kind of a propaganda piece, but love the name on Goose. If you haven't seen that movie, it's straight out of the 80s, but it's a great movie. Go ahead and watch that one. Dill 1, the Istera Zizia, OU upon. And then we got Swoozerman. Swooterman, I know him. I've casted him in Season 4. Coin flip factors going in the jungle. Flex 159, a mid lane with that Glacial Augment Vigar build. Definitely, I've played it a number of times myself. I really like it. You get those slow items, and you're able to land that stun on a consistent basis. Vayne 80 carry, coming up at the 80 carry, and the Ezreal spot, and Elmerilia as the support. Going ahead and grabbing that Airy. Both junglers starting off fairly standard. You're having the Olaf going for a quick 2 buff, whereas the Kayn is doing a full 3 camp clear on his top side. So I'm going around and I'm looking at the summoners, I'm looking at the runes. One thing that's really interesting is that the Nocturne is at the top lane and going ahead with Lethal Temple. But here we're having the first game. Marco's coming in with the early game Olaf. He's got the double buffs, lands 2 axes and a double axe. Being able to get that early gank and the flash. Nice early gank from Marco, who's doing what he has to do on that Olaf. And that's getting flashes and affecting lanes. So, early action already. And here, Maokai, who's, again, going against an AP champion. Again, very interesting that they keep this lane this way. But I do see them switching it later. But gank coming in here in the bottom. You're having the Kayn being able to land the CC. Having a little bit of trouble following up onto the Lucian. Being able to land the slow. But, one more Q is... I don't think another Q would have been able to do it for Vayne 80 carry. It was very, very close. But here we're having a fight. Nocturne looks like he's going to have the damage. He was able to land the Ignite and Lethal Tempo going ahead, getting those extra deeps. Flash heading out for Kayn, and it looks like the Bonobos were going to be able to get this Scuttle Crab. So early advantage for the Bonobos, but this is what they needed. They have this early pressure early on. Olaf being able to take both camps. Picked up a flash in top lane. Marco, who was in Season 4. I do remember him. He was a jungler in there too. was one of his team's stronger members. I had a bunch of replays of him. Very, very innovative jungle pass that he was doing. But remember, this is 10.10. This is a different ball game here. It's a different patch. And the other 3 tournament days are all going to be on 10.11. So I'm going to be really focusing in on that 10.11 patch, because that's going to be the patch that the finals are going to be played on. And we're going to have to see which teams are going to be able to adapt the best. And I'm going to be going through what I predict are going to be some of the adaptations and what some of the professionals think. And we're going to see how these teams change up their strategies. But we already see 2 very, very different teams here between the Bonobos and the Narwhals. By the way, I love the Bonobos name. This old school player I used to play with, Dark Legend, very, very high ranked player, very skilled. Used to say that all the time. I believe he got it from a streamer. So maybe if you all know who that streamer is, probably one of those classic early League of Legends player streamers. We're having Dragon here towards the bot side. Once again, Marco with the initiation, using this early power to his advantage. Zyra getting some early damage to help his team out. Gotta go ahead and back with the lane pushed on bottom. I really, really like how the Bonobos have started this early game. You gotta hand it to Marco. He did it in Season 4. He's doing it again in Season 6. Good players stay good. What am I gonna tell? What am I to say? And we're going to take a very key look at this mid and top lane, because once you hit level 6, you really want to have that Nocturne in the mid lane to be able to affect both sides of the map. Whereas in the top here, he's only able to affect the mid lane and the top side of the jungle. So expect to see that swap. You do see Maokai with the early Megatron cloak. That's good against both the top laner and the mid laner. He's going to build magic resist no matter what. Farm is fairly even in all the lanes except for the top, as you have Nocturne with a significant advantage, as he was able to get first blood and be able to get a number of pushes towards that top side. And there, with 18 CS, he's going to look to build that Bilgewater Cutlass as soon as possible. He's going to have all the more dueling power once he finishes that. He went Ignite, so look at that. Again, Nocturne in the top lane, going Ignite, getting first blood. Bonobos doing what they got to do to not look like Bonobos in the other way. That's how it was used, how I know. Good damage onto the Soraka. You're seeing Lucian being able to move up, but early exhaust onto the Zyra. Zyra knows that she's in a lot of trouble right now. Going to go ahead and miss the early DPS, but we have Olaf being able to pick up 1. Going to be able to pick up 2. We have Lucian, who's got 1. Zyra being able to pick up the other, and a 3 for 1. Stratford Bonobos. Got the first blood. You got the first dragon, and you got a 4-1 lead with your early game cop. Hey, this is how you do it. And then check this, flexing these picks, having the Nocturne go top and the Maokai mid. This is the first game. Can you believe this? First game, Season 6 OESL playoffs here, casted by Caster Rav, and I already love what I'm seeing. This was the exact same what was happening in Season 4. These players, they love to play, they love to get kills, and they love to go for it, and this is what we're seeing. Being able to get the damage advantage is the coin flip factor. And he knew he was going to win that. Was not a coin flip at all. Picks up 2 kills and has an assist. Jungler on the Markham Narwhals coming back with a vengeance. And we're going to see him finish his first item. Going for that warrior. Still has a lot of gold, is the Kane. So he's going to clear his bot side. And then let's see if he decides to gank or if he decides to go by with that gold that he has. He's probably sitting at least 1400 right now. There you go. He's got 1,000 right now and has a 400 gold lead. Just got up to 1,100. We'll swing back to that gold. Take a look at the top. You see a 1,000 gold lead here before the 10-minute mark in advantage of OU Upton in the top lane. Team is going for Rift. There's no contestation right now. You are seeing jungler and top laner of the Bonobos going ahead and doing that up. Camera didn't go there because it wasn't needed, but here, Nocturne being able to get the ult under tower, but a little bit of a misplay there. It looked like the Maokai could have done the ult just a little bit sooner to be able to combine that with the Nocturne ult, but they were able to push that in, be able to get the 2 turret plates in mid lane. Out of mid, there was the first turret plates to go. As you can see in bot lane, there's 2 turret plates for one turret plate for the other, trading back and forth. Whoa, all kinds of damage onto the Soraka. And that could pose a problem for this team fight here. Vigar now picking up one. Mord here in the bot lane. Used his TP, he was able to swing that fight, able to get a 3-0, and now we're having the Markham Narwhals be able to get the team fight win and the second dragon. I spoke too soon. Now the mid-game team is coming back, and we're going to have a game. Gold is even, folks. We're going to have to see who's able to get these early turret plates. There's still 4 minutes left. There will not be a Rift Herald that will come up in that time. Second dragon was just taken. You have the Ocean Dragon for the Bonobos and the Mountain Dragon for the Narwhals. Nocturne still staying in the top lane, so Maokai still in the middle. Doesn't look like they're doing any sort of early swap. Both players are happy with their current lane assignments. There's one thing though. This Vigar, 2,000 gold, already with the GLP item, hasn't died yet. That was saying in Champ Select. That lane is greatly factored by how Vigar plays it, and he's playing it to perfection at the moment. We're going to have a jungle fight. Kane going down early. Team following up onto the top. Being able to complete the 1-for-1. That is Nocturne's first death. He finished Blade of the Ruin King before building his first level boots. But oh, here, big ult from the Zyra. Being able to get that early engage finished off from the Lucian. They have an advantage now here on bot lane. So advantage in top, advantage in bot. Stratford Bonobos, 2 winning lanes. As a jungler, you're always in a good spot. If you can have 2 winning lanes, you know you have a game going. If you do your part, you can close this out. $1,000 gold lead now for the Bonobos. Maokai is going to get a lot of damage on him right now, but here's the combo that they were going for. Twisted Passage into the Nocturne. And that's why they have this for sure CC in mid lane. It's an easy setup. And this is the second time you've already seen this Nocturne Maokai combination. So here we have the Stratford Bonobos with their strategy, and it's combining two champions that work really, really well together. The CC of Maokai from Goose. But here it looks like we're going to have a turret dive, but they have no minions to be able to do this. We've got 2 bars left on Nocturne, and he's not going to be able to get out. And all that life steal for Kane is not even going to put him low. Nocturne getting dove in top, and he doesn't like that. He wants to be the one diving. He doesn't want to get dove. He doesn't have those tools. But coming right back, Olaf here in the top lane. Maokai picking up his first kill. And lanes are going to get swapped. You're going to having the bot lane of the blue team already taken the tower, already gotten all the plates here on bot. Going to go ahead and swap up to the top side. Nice macro play from blue team, the Bonobos. Two out of 3 level 1 turrets for the blue team. Getting one back, but that's all he's going to get. Uses the ult, but not able to take out Nocturne. Vigar with his first death. Kills are going back and forth. This is like watching an LPL game. I'm loving it. Rift Herald coming up in the next 45 seconds. You're having a bush gank. It's a little something me and my friends like calling a little bush jitsu. Getting that positioned. Yeah, we also like mixed martial arts as well. So we have some MMA terminology. But no one's going to go through that top try. So if you're a blue team, putting at least 3 in the mid lane to get this last level 1 turret will be the last easy gold on the map. And they're looking to try to get the tower before this happens, but not going to be able to do it before Nocturne goes down. But the cage being able to land onto Lucian. Really, really nice from Vigar. Flexing his CC muscles. Early VIP All-Star for Markham is Flex. 5 and 2. Working towards that Twin Shadows. He's going to have a very, very quick level 2 for someone that really needs to scale. And Olaf realizes he's not doing a whole lot of damage, but as he loses health, he keeps hitting faster and faster and faster. Being able to pick up his attack speed as he goes down, knocks out the Mordekaiser. He's having a real hard time in top lane. 0, 2, and 3. Not completely out of it is Swootermans. And there you see all that CC coming out from Vigar, forcing the Maokai ult. We're seeing pings out for blue team. They want this Rift Herald. They got the first one. They got the first dragon. They haven't got the last 2 dragons, though. Razor thin margins at this juncture. And you've got to like Team Red. If you're going to get this deep, if you're going to get this 30, 35 minutes plus, Kayn is going to do so much better. The Soraka is going to be super useful. Ezreal is going to be way of a bigger advantage than the Lucian. And then, of course, Vigar, he's already huge, and he's just going to get even bigger. 2 AP items already out. Tower already almost gone. They're being able to get the tower top, but doing a counterplay is Markham, and they're most certainly going to get this Nocturne, who's going to make the map dark, but that's not going to stop him from being attacked. Rift Herald coming up, and is this a misplay? No, it's not a misplay. They wanted to do this. They're being able to get the charge. The tower's going to be very, very weak right now. Still 1,400. Rift is going down, but so is that turret. They're going to look to try to get that second charge, but they're not going to get a chance. Zyra ult in the back because they go ahead and miss, and they're going super deep. Is the Team Red, the Narwhals, like deep blue, and the Sharks. If you like Samuel L. Jackson, that's a movie to take a look at. Deep Blue Sea. You're going to see something similar happen. We're having a difference in gold here. We're having the kills an advantage of the Narwhals, but the turrets and the advantage of the Bonobos. So gold is even. But they have what's called a lot of standing gold on the map, is the Markham Narwhals. I still have 2 first level turrets to take out. Vayne 80 carried, not going to get an easy tower there. Maokai is going to match. And let's take a peek at some of these items that the teams have. And just as we're talking about that, we're having a pause, and this lets us go into a little bit more of a deep dive into some of these items. Nocturne still hasn't finished his second item, but looks close. Going for that Ravenous Hydra. Going to be doing a lot of lifesteal once he finishes that. Compared with Mordekaiser, not in quite as good of a position. He's got the Leandries, but not doing as much damage. Won't have as much kill pressure. Between the junglers, there's a huge difference. The gold and the advantage of Kayn. Items, they're about the same, but that means Kayn would have some gold, and there he has. He's sitting on 1,600. So he's right back at base. So you should see probably the Ninja Tabbies finished up. Maybe a small component of his next item. And there you go. Going ahead and finishing that up. Going to pick up a Caulfield's Warhammer. And now he's got a nice item lead on Marco on the Olaf. Marco can still duel though. Olaf is still strong at this point. Mid lane, Maokai still sitting on the Abysmal Mask. Oh, there we go. Ult coming in from Goose. He's knocked a few players up, realizing he's a little bit too deep. We're having 4 members of the Markham Narwhals, but we're having Goose coming right back with the triple CC. Olaf, he's going to look to try to finish. He's really, really key if he can get that Vigard. He'd be able to pick that up. Oh, just on the edge of that. Zyra putting a very nice stationary ultimate that Lucian hits, but it's going to be all for naught. 4 for 1. Red team. Only Nocturne on the map. 15 seconds apiece. You're having Dragon up in 1 minute. Baron is up right now, but it's too early to be considering that. Mid-turret damage. Very useful, though. And realizing both members are less than half health, are going to look for a reset. Before the reset, they're thinking maybe a nice Nocturne. They do have to think, because this Dragon is up in about 40 seconds. And if they chase too long, they're not going to be in position for it. Guessing on that ult. There, backing to start. Soraka's going to be a little bit late. Both teams see both junglers, or sorry, the blue team seeing the jungler of the red team is in the top. And it looks like an aggressive call here. Is blue going for Baron? No. No, they're just going to clear out the vision. They're going to go ahead and get priority in mid lane. So when you push up this mid turret, you're going to see who catches it. Now remember, they do have the large traditional front line of Olaf and Maokai. And that's why you see Maokai positioned by the entrance. He's going to go ahead and get onto the jungler, pushes them into the dragon. He's going to do a little bit of damage, but ult goes onto Zyra, going to pick up the kill. Kayn is getting bounced around like a ping-pong ball, and going to go down, but we're having the last of the team fight go through, and we're having the Narwhals saying goodbye. This team fight's ours. This dragon's ours. They didn't get the first dragon. They didn't get the first kill, but they've gotten so much since. And a 5-0 in the ace, 5-1. They don't have their jungler up, but they know they have an entire ace. They're going to look to start this Baron. Could take around 15 seconds. Maybe not enough time to be any sort of significant challenge. Looks like they're having a little bit of a mixed call here. Mord is thinking, no, we're not going to try that. We don't have the jungler here. And they're going to go ahead and take the more defensive approach. They already got the dragon. They've already got the gold lead. They don't need to risk it. And we're going to see if this decision pays off for them later in the game. If they don't win this game, if the Markham Narwhals do not win this game, they're going to have to go back to this play and think, what if? Myself, I think it was a good move. I think they're in a really, really strong position. You have the clear scaling advantage. You have momentum on your side. You have Soul coming up in about 4 minutes. there's no reason to risk a Baron. But, you know, you see teams do this all the time. NA is known for it, doing random Barons for no reason. You even saw it in the LPL finals between Top Esports and JDG, which, if you haven't seen, it is a must-watch. If you're going to see any of the finals, go ahead and watch that one. You're going to see some interesting Baron plays over there. But being able to land the Q on the fadeaway is Vayne80 Carry, picking up the first kill. Kane going to have a lot of lifesteal, picking up 1 kill, but he's going to have a lot of trouble to finish off the Olaf as he used his ult already. But Olaf deciding not to fight that. He's going to go ahead and push the wave and then look for a back. So he's just looking to not be caught out, to put a little bit of pressure on the map, and we're going to have to see if his team gets punished for that. This is something I like to do as a jungler occasionally as well. Instead of walking into a dark jungle where you could see 2 or 3 members of the enemy team and then just get insta-gibbed, you go ahead and push that wave and take a safe back, and you know that you at least have a wave pushed, and you're not gonna get destroyed immediately. Don't see a lot of high elo professional teams do that sort of strategy, but in solo queue and in these kind of small amateur events, you know, having pressure on the map is invaluable, and there was nowhere safe for him to go. He couldn't get back. You're gonna go ahead and pass that red buff. Now Ezreal looking really good. Remember, Ezreal did not win this bot lane. He did not. He lost his tower. He wasn't getting the same amount of kills. Now look at him. He's 7-1-7, 2.5 items. He's got that bilge water there. 2nd level boots. Very, very strong position here for Vayne80 Carry. And despite Vayne being banned, still being very adept at Ezreal. And then this is very, very standard. And every second game you're seeing in Ezreal, really, he's pick or ban, I think, in at least 50% of the games. He's just that reliable, that safe. Oh, just barely missing the CC is Zyra. The Soraka very, very lucky to get out of that. He had to use his flash, and that's going to mean it's not going to be available for the next team fight. Baron is still up. You're seeing the Twin Shadows get the slow onto Olaf, and the Ragnarok was just enough to be able to tank that. Maokai's going in, but he doesn't have much of a team behind him. A lot of his team does not have the hit points to be engaging on this. We're having Nocturne here in the backline being able to keep them off. Maokai tanking just enough to be able to get a trade in the kills. It's a 2-for-2 trade so far. Maokai getting damage and CC onto the Veigar, but he just doesn't have enough. He needs his team members, and Lucian was not in a position to be able to follow that up. Quadra for Flex. And he's playing a slow scaling mid laner, and look what he's doing. He's taking the Glacial Augment. He barely died in lane. Flex. Really, really strong play on the Veigar. And you could look for a ban here on this pick in game 2. If they win, you could see the Bonobos switch up their ban. I think the rest of the team you can deal with, but this Veigar seems unusually strong. Kills now have exploded. Narwhals more than doubling the kills. They have Soul coming up. They have pressure in the mid lane. It's up right now, and they're going to start it immediately. Ezreal is not in a position to be able to join this team. Marco does not have a Blast Cone to get over, does not have a team to be able to fight for that. So you're having the Cloud Drake. 3 Cloud Drakes, very, very early ultimates. And if you're looking around, who likes the early ultimates? Well, I'm looking immediately at Veigar, Ezreal, and Soraka. All those, if you have ultimates up every 30 or 40 seconds on those champs, extremely useful. And then the speed that you get with them, again, super useful for all 3. Vision being set up. Baron is certainly the next objective. 28 minutes in. Thing is, red team, the Narwhals, have been winning team fights consistently for the last 10-15 minutes. Top fight here. Minion advantage for Nocturne, but the player advantage for the Kane. And here we're seeing a little 2-on-1 action. 3-on-1 now with the teleport. And Nocturne cannot get out of that. Maokai in a little bit of a trouble here. Gonna find it very difficult to get out. Had the flash, didn't want to use it. And win some more. Markham Narwhals getting all the late game objectives, winning all the important team fights. Marco can steal this, and he does it! Marco with the steal! He goes for the Baron! He grabs it! He goes down immediately, but he extends this game a little bit longer with that Baron. You could have seen the red team walk it right down and pick up 1 or 2 inhibitors in all likelihood, and he gets that steal. And yes, he's down for about 40 seconds, but he gives his team a new lease on life. Marco showing us how it's done. Experienced jungler here. And there you saw the, went ahead and jumped over, popped the ultimate, did Ragnarok, and then immediately smited after. If you're on the Narwhals team, you're thinking, okay, lucky steal. We still have all the momentum. They just picked up a lucky Baron that is only on around 2 members. Let's just make sure to not lose a big team fight here. Let's not get caught out. Nocturne having a lot of trouble here in this late game, not having the same lead that he had before. 5 and 9. Not been a lot of fun for this dive champion. There's only one way, and that's in. And here, also going in, E forward is Ezreal. Zyra just missing with the CC. And then no Baron empowered minions to help the defense here. A lot of pressure being put on. And there's the dive. Kane's going in. Go ahead and ultimate to take the turret aggro out. Ezreal's going to follow up with the ult, but here's Kane. He's still deep. He's still deep, but he's still alive. Now the turret has gone onto the Mordekaiser, and he's from full health. He can take turret shots, but I tell you who can't take any more shots is Maokai. And there you go. We have the ace coming out from the Markham Narwhals. 16-39. And if they play this smart, they can finish this off. Slow going down to get this started. Nocturne still has about 15 seconds before any friends come. This is not one of those situations you want to be a loner in. But who wasn't a loner in this game were the team members of the Narwhals playing extremely well together despite early challenges. Locking it down. First game, Markham Narwhals. They were the away team, and they still won. Congratulations. Take a quick peek at some of these statistics. All kinds of damage here for the Veigar, as well as the Ezreal. Both did extremely well. We got game 1 in the books, folks. Markham Narwhals. And not only that, but they have side selection in this game. It's 1-0, and we're going to see who's going to win game number 2 coming right up.
The nightly waits the hiss of death. But honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living, but we could run from belief.
The weak fear the shadows.
Fear controls them.
Let it burn.
I smell fear.
You've gotta know
Think what I could offer.
Doubt is the greatest enemy.
Your commands tire me!
All right, we've seen a change in the bands here. We've seen Kane and Vigar being taken out. Both players playing very, very well in the first game. We're going straight into the action. This is live. There was no pro draft. The one in the back is from last game. So we are live right at this moment. The Vigar player, Flex, pulled off an amazing performance. One of the lower ranked players playing today as well, showing that you can really still perform in this Plat Plus tournament despite not being a master player. Look, he still did a really good job. He didn't die early in lane. He got his items early, stayed safe, did what he had to do, and then picked up a ton of kills in the mid game. Really, really strong play, but Flex is going to have to do it on someone else, and there he goes. He has the Yasuo there, most likely going mid, but we're going to have to see. Can be Flex, could be bottom. Don't know necessarily where these players are necessarily going. This time around, we're seeing the Olaf being taken away from Marco. And the Jarvan as well. So 2 jungle bans targeted at Marco. Quick pick of Vayne. Taking it away from the player that has Vayne 80 carry in his own name, but showed a really strong game on Ezreal. Is Vayne 80 carry one of the highlights of his team? Markham Narwhals on the left. We're seeing a number of different champions on both sides. Some of the things that stand out, you're seeing Marco on a Tryndamere. So Tryndamere jungle. So looking for a real hard carry performance. That's why you're taking the Tryndamere. You're looking for like a solo queue style. Like, I'm going to be getting these single kills, these solo kills. I'm going to be diving turrets. I'm going to be farming like a monster, especially compared to a Zac. Marco taking a much more carry-heavy pick compared to the Olaf. Everything seems to be in the order that they were doing it in. Top, we're going to have Urgot versus Malphite. Zac against Tryndamere. A lot of players liking the utility of Zac, especially when you upgrade your your elastic slingshot first. You can really gank from extremely unusual positions. The thing is if you're going to upgrade your E first, you really have to be gank heavy. Lane to lane to lane, camp, lane, like really, really gank heavy, or you're not going to be clearing anywhere nearly as quickly as a Tryndamere. The Vladimir pick for the against the Yasuo. Yasuo generally has a little bit more kill pressure early on. You have to like that matchup for the Vladimir. Goose, who was on the Maokai, took him mid last time. Now taking Vlad, so both on the safer side mid laners. And then a very, very different bot lane. Ezreal with the Yuumi, pretty much the safest bot. It's very, very safe. It's one of the safest bot lanes that you can pick up versus the Vayne, Zyra. Don't necessarily need kills in that lane, but you know, if you can get a condemn onto a wall, if you get the CC with Zyra, as we saw her do last game, playing the same champion, the only 2 people, one on each side, playing the same champion as in the first game, and that's Zyra on the Stratford side and the Ezreal on the Markham side. So we got 1 quick minute left. Go ahead and take a look at what's coming up. So we all like League of Legends, right? Well, this mid-season cup is coming right up. And if you haven't heard of this yet, this is the best teams in China and Korea that are going to be starting to play in just a couple of days from now. So it's their mid-season It's not really their invitational, but it's their mid-season tournament. So here we're seeing the Chinese teams out of the LPL, the winners, JDG, who ended up winning against Top Esports. Brand new team here that's got Karsa, Knight, and Jackie Love all on the same team. That's right. Former world champions FPX, who did get 3-0'd in the semifinals by JDG, but still got a spot at this tournament. And the classic Invictus Gaming, they've just been a powerhouse for the last few years. And then out of Korea, you have T1, who dominated LCK. If you want to see possibly what one of the best teams is in the league, go check out SKT1. And then following that up, you're having the Gen G team, you're having the Kingzone Dragon X. And so you have all these 8 teams that are going to be fighting to be probably the best team in the world. And you really have to look at JDG wanting to assert themselves, winning LPL, that they want to go onto the world scene and say, look, we're not just beating up on the largest, most competitive region in the world. We're going to go ahead and beat our arch rivals. But if you watched any LCK this year, spring 2020, you're going to know SKT is here to play, and we got a quick champ select, and we're here to play. But check out the mid-season invitational 2020. It is being played overseas, so the games tend to be very, very early in the morning. I believe the first game starting at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be SKT against FPX. So I'll post those links with all that information going in the OESL Discord about when these teams are playing, as well as the streamathon that's going to be international, and it's going to be for COVID relief. That Riot Games is going to be taking in donations and then putting in a significant amount of money themselves. I believe they said they put either $25,000 or $250,000 so far for COVID relief, and this streamathon is set to get a lot more, and that's happening it's starting during the week, and it's going to be finishing on Sunday. So it's going to be like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing. So make sure to check that out if you want to see some international League of Legends action, because frankly, all I've seen is the drama so far. We haven't had any games. We haven't had any MSI. So all there's been is the TSM, Lena, Doublelift, Dardoch scandal, conflict of interests, which was a major, the holy war with Thorin and Monty, which I don't get giddy for television shows or reality TV or anything like that. But when I saw Thorin put out his second video and I had already heard what Lena did, I couldn't wait to see it, and I actually just watched it a second time. It's unbelievable for a company this big, TSM, for this to be happening. And then, of course, the Voyboy scandal, where he, sitting on his steps in his living room in his pajama pants, talking about the state of high-level solo queue. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. He put it up a couple weeks ago. It's already got 1.2 million views. It's his views on how high-level solo queue is and his ideas for fixing it. It's stirred a lot of discussion around the league. But what's stirred a lot of discussion is all this action going on so far. Mid lane, already close to going down. Goose is going to have to heal off of some of those minions because Yasuo doing tons of damage. Don't expect too much of a fight in top lane. But here, bot lane, a lot of damage into Ezreal. Zyra Vayne going to be pushing in this lane early, and they already have Ezreal down to 2.5 bars. They have a significant pushing advantage, as Zyra can push the wave a lot more than Yuumi can. So you're going to see that bot lane pushed up, and we're going to have to see if the Zac is going to be coming to gank the bot lane at all, or he's going to leave them to their own devices. Again, very, very safe bot lane. Great trade here from Urgot there in the top lane. Both players choosing the teleport. Both of them still have it. There's Flex once again, showing his stuff in the mid lane. I'm really impressed by this player so far. And if you watch Season 4 at all, you know that like I'll pick one or two players on each team that I like the plays that they're doing. I like how they're playing their champions or playing the team game. And Flex is right now one of those players for me. But here, fight over the scuttle, we have possible first blood going down. Marco's going to be ever so close. He needs one more shot. Just being able to get the passive down. But first blood goes over to Yasuo. He's going to protect the Globlets. And going to get some damage here onto the Urgot, and he does have the tornado, and with the red buff, that's going to be enough damage and slow. 2-0 here from the Narwhals. They started slow last game, but blue team here starting quick today. And Marco was going for that early fight against coin flip factor, and it was kind of a coin flip situation. Only thing that really saved him was his passive and Zac. Nice rotation here from Flex. He's already got 2-0. Hasn't bought yet. Most likely will be hitting 6 before his Vlad counterpart, as he does have those 2 kills. Once again, the bot lane is pushing. Prio is going to be continually in the Bonobos' favor. And it looks like Tryndamere is waiting for this dragon to appear. He sees he has Prio on bot lane, and he's going to look to try to get an early dragon. Remember, he did die first. Is Marco. We don't see him yet. But if he gets about another 6 or 7 seconds, he should be able to get this dragon. And it looks... Oh, now we have Zac. Zac is coming. I'm going to have to swing it over. We're going to have to see. Oh, and he doesn't check. He doesn't use the plant. Marco. Tu es très lucky, chanceux. You are very lucky, my friend. You go for the early fight and lose, and then immediately start the 5-minute dragon and get it. Very, very nice. And let's take swing back to game 1. He did get that first dragon, but that was the only dragon they ended up getting. There we're seeing Yasuo going with the Berserker Greaves and a couple of daggers. There they are, both level 6. Wind Wall is going to block some of that damage. Farm is pretty even around the map except for the top lane. But here, there's that combo, the Zac-Yasuo combo. Yasuo with the 3-0. This guy is hulking out. And you picked a perfect champion to be doing that. Tons of knockups on his team. Flex is going to be the winning factor for the Narwhals. Watch this guy. In this tournament, watch this man. There's going to be a number of highlight clips with his name on it. Just you watch. I'm going to be cutting some myself. Fight coming on here in the top. You're having both junglers. Unstoppable Force being able to pick up that kill. It's all Narwhals. Doesn't look like they're going to dive. Markham is beaten up on their opponents. Now, if you look at the teams, you have to say that it's a switch from last game. You have the Stratford team here on the red side with the Tryndamere, Vladimir, and Vayne. They have the scaling advantage in a significant way over the Narwhals here on the blue side, who have a lot of really strong mid-game champions, but none of those really hyper-scaling champions. The thing is if they continue with this lead, they're not going to need to go to late game. They're going to be able to finish this up with a first Baron. Very, very important for Marco on the Tryndamere to keep farming, keep his levels up, finish that warrior enchantment. Flash coming out from Ezreal. Wanted to make sure not to get too low. There's Zyra on the left-hand side, pinging it out for his team. Going to be a 13-11 flash on Ezreal. At control ward, seen Yasuo. Starting to build up a CS lead. Has the level lead. And that's all Vladimir can do. Take a couple of shots and back. He built the Seeker's Iron Guard, which is really all you can do in this scenario to try to stem the onslaught. That is Yasuo. Zac is starting to hover on the mid side. He just backs off and goes into his jungle. No kills as of yet on this bot lane. If you're the Ezreal Yuumi, you got to be pretty thankful for that because there was a lot of pressure put on them early. Ezreal still doesn't have the flash, as does Malphite or Zac. So if they're looking to have a lull in the game, this is the time to let some of these flashes get back up. There's Urgot. It's going to try to engage on the 1v1, but Malphite has level 8. But what he doesn't have is a friend. He's going to try to pick up the kill first before he goes down. He's most certainly going down. And that was a fraction of a health bar there. Very, very close. I could see what Malphite was doing, trying to pick up that counter kill. Knew he was dead at that point. Oh, and he goes in for the flash. He's going to try to pick it up. The healing. He's going to get the trading kill. That's actually really good for Goose because he just picked up a bounty of 300 gold. He really needs that. And it's very pivotal what items he picks up. So he's going to go stopwatch as he's thinking he's going to get Dove at some point. That's a safe bet. And then going for the Kindle gem. But here now, gank onto the bot lane. Going to knock out. Oh, the ignite is ticking. Oh, that's so close. Did we get the counter kill? We do. Zyra able to pick it up. I thought certainly Vayne was going down. But Zyra getting the CC, getting the ignite, chomping him down. Ezreal, first death. And once again, the Bonobos bot lane getting the early advantage, but last game they were not able to rotate that into a win. Zyra picking up that kill. Gonna go for a blasting wand. And some other items. Boots, a couple of control wards. Lots of pings coming around Dragon. There's a very tentative prio here from Vlad, as in anytime anyone shows up, he has to back. And there he's going to use that stopwatch that he just bought up. He's going to have to pull away. Not even have the chance. Vayne looking to get some counter damage here. She's got the shots on. She's going to look to get the third shot onto Yasuo. No, not going to go too deep into turret. But we do have the Herald for Tryndamere. Decides not to put it in mid lane as of yet. Wants to swing on over to the Dragon. And here we're having a bot lane fight. And the 2 levels makes all the difference. Urgot with the ultimate. Vayne 80 carry having a hard time this game. It's not necessarily his fault. He was a little bit extended there against the top laner who's much higher level than him, but you know that first death wasn't necessarily his bad. They were going for the kill. Zyra made a play. Here it looks like Zac's gonna go for the steal. Is he gonna try to fly over? Oh, and I love that try of a steal. What you do is you charge up your elastic slingshot with your E and you fly horizontal over the pit, and you can smite the Dragon and not have to risk landing inside the pit to get murdered. So yes, he wasn't able to pick up the kill or the Dragon, but he didn't go down in the meantime. And here at 0-0 and 4, Zac is doing everything he needs to do. Yes, he doesn't have the dragons yet, but he's giving his mid lane a massive lead. He already had the lead, but he's just stepping the neck on the throat there. And we're going to have to see if Yasuo can press the guillotine down and chop the heads off of the Bonobos. And there, once again, early damage onto Vlad. Vlad has to pull away, uses the ult in self-defense, but you're going to see Yasuo pushing onto this turret. Urgot going for the call, realizes that this is going to be a farm lane and top until their teammates can come and help. Defensive ult used by Yuumi. Ezreal's flash is back up. He does have that flash in the bot lane. Rift is down. Gonna get some gold over to the Urgot. Couple of plates went down. Urgot's gonna go down and gonna get to spend some of that money he just got. Probably doesn't even it out though. Only had about 400. Must have just got back. Went ahead and finished his Black Cleaver. Gold is dead even. Turret pressure being put on to the top. Flex is his team's gold advantage. The reason that they're ahead is because he's doing so well. Having the Infernal and the Mountain Dragon already for the Bonobos. So, fairly close game. Early 2 dragons for red team. But they can get into this late game so much better. They're still not close to being there yet. They still need another 15-20 minutes. And whether the Narwhals give them that chance, we're going to have to see. They're putting on the pressure right now. They appear to be the stronger of the two teams at present. Zac is shadowing Yasuo, making sure that he does not get ganked. The only bounty on their team is on Yasuo. The flash ult goes in. Just trying to make that play happen just a little too much. It was a little bit forced. You could see what the idea was. Flash, Malphite ult, into Yuumi ult. Zac realizing this mid lane pressure is very, very important. A couple kills against Yasuo in this game could change around. Dragon's up in less than a minute. One team is going to pull up ahead. The other is going to have to play catch up. Who's it going to be? Early vision now is for blue team. Look to see both junglers start to position towards the dragon. Zac's already a little bit closer than Tryndamere. We'll see if Tryndamere decides to buy before he goes for this objective. He could go to look to trade it as well. A ping just went to Rift Herald. Vlad down to half health. Went ahead and rushed that hourglass. And it's already been proven he's needed it. Smart first item. Blue team's got the early people there. They've got 5 members. There should be no contention as of yet. Opposite side of the map. Rift is being taken. They're going to get that without a fight. Marco's just going to get the objective and head out of there. They're managing to keep his farm up. 132 versus his opponent at 119. Died a couple of times, but that was a long time ago. He hasn't died in around 10 minutes. Done a good job stabilizing. Picked up both Rift Heralds is Marco, as well as the first 2 dragons. Early objectives once again for the Bonobos. But this Markham team, they did it in the first game, and we're going to see if they do it now. Transition to the mid game is key. And once again, they got 2 tanky frontliners in the Malphite and the Zac to be able to start these fights off and put their Yasuo into position to be able to do all kinds of damage. And even when he doesn't have any help, this Yasuo still does a lot of damage, being able to get the Ignite off. Vlad is 1 shot away. Flash for Flash is going to be traded out. Trinimir is coming in. He goes in, be able to pick up the kill, but another fight coming up on top. We're having Urgot. He's got the health lead, and he's going to get the slow. Malphite's in a lot of trouble, but there's fights going all over the place. Another 2-on-1 here in the mid lane. We're going to see, does Trinimir decide to use the Rift in the middle? He decides against it. He's going to go farm some camps, and he's going to use that quick back to get back to base quickly and look somewhere else to put that. And once again, a little bit off of the Malphite alt. I see the plays he's looking for, and they're almost there. But now, Urgot's having a free lane to farm. Trinimir looking for his second kill. Passive is up. Oh! He thought it was off. It was so close. He thought that he lost, and there's Zac laughing. He saw the same play I did. Trinimir thinking that the turret aggro was going to be just out of range. Just slightly miscalculating that. But he still has the Rift Herald. Oh, what's this? They don't know. They have no idea. This is a very, very early Baron, and when you have 2 members in mid like this, how could you know? You can't. Excellent playmaking, and I would love to know who made this call. Who made the call at the 20-minute mark to go Baron? I want to find this out. I'm gonna ask this question. If Markham wins, who called Baron? 20 minutes. That is a great question, because you're talking about an even game here, and this could be the objective to break it open. Like I was saying, the LPL series between JDG and TES, the JDG team specifically uses Baron to a max potential. Before SK Telecom, now called T1, they used to be really, really useful with Baron. But now, no, it's JDG. You should see all the turrets and inhibitors they take with this objective. They close games out almost every time they get it. Marco thinking he's going to go ahead. Uses it. Flash coming out from Malphite. Going to go ahead and secure that. The Rift does take the tower. That is the second tower. Looks like Urgot's picking up a kill in mid lane. It just went away. Nope, he's going to have to retreat. And Markham pressuring mid. They're up a person. Jungler is dead on red side. And then here we're having the push. All these Baron-powered minions coming right down mid lane. And let's look at the wave clear. You got Zyra and Vayne, not the greatest wave clear. Follow that up with a Trinimir and Vlad. Again, not great wave clear. They're going to have a hard time playing against this Baron siege. Zyra's pinging out that her ult is down. Malphite is on the dragon. Narwhals picking up that second ocean. Once again, they're able to get the mid-game dragons. Small gold lead now. Zach shouldn't be in too much trouble here. Should be able to E away. He's going to have to move over a wall and doesn't get a chance. Nice shot from Urgot. And this is the break that they needed. Stratford going to get solo gold and solo push for Vlad in top lane. Just finished his second item. Still needs more. He's got a ways to go to catch up to Yasuo. Looks like he's going for that Death Dance as a third item. He's going to have all kinds of survivability when he gets that. Vayne's still working on her second item. Hasn't died yet. DYL1 trying to get into a position where he can get into a side lane or look to clean up some team fights. When you're looking for easy engages, ways to get into a team fight, you look no further than Zach, then Yuumi, then Malphite. And here we go. We're seeing the Zach engaging here a mid. He's going to get CC'd up, but that's a lot of skills already used towards their tank jungler. Exhaust used. But already there's a lot of skills being used by Markham. They have 5-4 versus 2. They won a 3-0 team fight there. So Zach was able to jump in, have a lot of the team fight engaged on him, and then because of that, Red Team didn't have any skills left to be able to win that fight. Smart play here from the Zach going in 1v3. Malphite tanking that turret. When you get this much armor, you got a Yuumi, it's pretty easy at this point. First inhibitor down. 6,000 gold lead. We have an established leader right now. Once again, that Baron play at 20 minutes. Who done it? I want to know. Able to get 3 mid turrets and an inhibitor with that Baron. And picked up a dragon while they were doing it as well. All off of that objective. Now they can reset, pick up their slight item leads. There Yasuo's got the Death Dance, and I'm waiting for it, folks. I'm waiting for a 2 or 3 man knock up with Yasuo right nearby to press the R. We just need to see one of them. You see one of those plays, and it's done. The game is done. No coming back. Oh! Being able to jump over Ezreal with the E. Very aggressive with it, and it's proving beneficial for him. 2-0. And that all started from the Ezreal Yuumi play. Jumping over that wall, getting the slow. Stratford's having a hard time being able to deal with that. And, well, it wasn't 3 people, but there, the unstoppable force. Into the Yasuo ult. And there, he just did it by himself. He's that far ahead. 10-2. Shall we call him Mr. Flex? And his gang of Narwhals. Very good job, guys. They know how to play the mid game. They don't worry too much about having to take every early objective. They just make sure not to get too far behind, to transition and get ready for the right team fights at the right time. We have your winners. The Markham Narwhals 2-0. Stratford Bonobos. Check these damage charts out. Huge lead. Zyra did really well. Able to keep up. All right, there we have it. We have our winners. I'm going to be snapping this victory screen. Can't wait to cast these narwhals here on the 28th, here on Thursday. And our good friend Mello is going to be looking to get a interviewee from the winning team, the Markham Narwhals. We'll be right back, and we're going to hear, I want to hear who made that Baron call. Be coming right back up. Caster Rav. And there's our first game in our first series in the books. We're going to see the Markham Narwhals move on, and they're going to be playing on Thursday, and we're going to see who they're going to play. and I can't wait to cast that for you. I believe the series starts at 7 p.m., so make sure to join us Thursday, 7 p.m., right here on the Twitch, and we're going to see if the Markham Narwhals have as clean of a mid-game as they were able to show today. I was able to ask, and the support said that the jungler made that 20-minute Baron call. So go figure. Jungler calling the objective there for the win. And remember, they kept the Ezreal and the Yuumi in mid lane. They did 3-man Baron, started with 2, finished it with 3, and were able to get an overwhelming lead here in the first round of the playoffs. So I'll catch you all soon, and pleasure seeing you all, and honor to be here. Thank you all later.